The City of Romulus Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting agenda, Wednesday, June 4th, 2025, will be called to order. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The second order of business will be roll call. Mr. Gebois?
Here.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Lloyd?
Here.
Mr. Chandler?
Here.
Chair Frederick is here. All are present and accounted for. Item number 3 is approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Motion to approve the agenda for this meeting.
Second.
Motion to approve the agenda for tonight. Mr. Chandler made the proposal and Mr. Lloyd seconded. We'll vote. Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Gebois?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Agenda is approved. Number 4 is approval of the minutes of the last meeting, Board of Zoning Appeal, regular meeting held on May 7th, 2025. Now, before we say, so I missed that meeting, so I'm going to excuse myself from that vote.
Okay.
All right. So I need a motion, please.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes?
All right. A motion by Mr. Lloyd. A second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Green to approve the minutes of the Board of Zoning Appeal for May 7th, 2025. Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Gebois?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
And the chair is not voting because the chair was not present. All right. Old business. Do we have any old business?
No, I think we've been staying up on things.
All righty. Good for that. Number 6 is new business. New business is a BZA 2025-003. Address is 6921 Middle Belt Property. I just gave you the location. The DP number is 80-003-99-0006-000. Applicant is Carlos Haddad. Applicant is Ryan Mahalik? Michalak. As property owner, request variances from the following. A, Section 8.04A, area height placement requirements, schedule of regulations, and B2, footnotes of schedule of regulations, yard maintenance, and landscape open space to reduce the side yard setback adjacent to a residential use from 50 feet to 4 feet. B is Section 1107A1, vehicle dealerships, parentheses used, to reduce the minimum site area from 1 acre to 0.32 acres, and Section C here, Section 11-07A, parentheses 3, vehicle dealerships, parentheses used, to allow a 6-foot chain link fence with mesh screening on both sides of the fence instead of the required solid fence or wall. The petitioner is here. I'd like to read a statement first. Let's see here. Okay. This is my second meeting, so please bear with me. Okay. Since the public hearing for the above referenced variances has been published and noticed to property owners within 300 feet of the subject property, the board should open the hearing, hear the applicant's presentation, and then take any public comment. And then we'll move forward with the business from there. So if the petitioner would approach the mic, give your name and address, and tell us about your project, please.
Yes, my name is Ryan Michalak. I am the owner of 6921 Middle Belt Road. This is the presentation. We're going for section 11.07A1, 8.04A, and 11.07A3.
So you just push the over button, the little arrow. Yep.
So my property in the middle there, that is 6921 Middle Belt Road. It was a residential property when I had first purchased it. It was grandfathered in as a residential, like the neighborhood around it. So I went through ADA compliancy to bring it up to M1 commercial zoning. I went through the rezoning process, and now because it is an M1 light industrial zone, it will never go back to being a residential, which is the same situation for all the neighbors north and south of this property in that district. We have gone through a phased site plan, which will show there being an asphalt pad poured in the front, which will cover 8 parking spots for the future use of the tenant, as well as a chain link fence, as mentioned, which will go along the right side of the property line and closing around the back. In the back left side of the property there is a fence that I share with DGK Trucking that is already pre-existing. This is just a rough SketchUp. That shows where the asphalt pad will be poured, as well as where the fence will meet. There will be a turnaround zone to the left. There's a concrete pad right to the left of the building. That's the handicap parking spot. It's marked, it's got a sign. And in the front here, in the front right corner, there will be a landscaping easement, which will go to block any light from headlights coming in for a car turning into the property, as well as blocking any disruption from the neighbors seeing that light, though there should be no cars coming to that property at night. This is a rough SketchUp of the proposed fence. It is a 6-foot chain link fence. The requirements it's looking for is a solid fence, and a solid fence is just something that can't be seen through. This fence with the meshing that I'm proposing, it's a 90% visibility meshing if it's only used on one side of the fence. What we're proposing is to put up the fence and do the meshing on both sides, giving 100% visibility clearance between it. So that will stop any light from headlights coming through, taillights, floodlights, and then as seen, that is what the asphalt parking pad would look like to an extent. This is a property similar to mine. It's about 300 feet north of my property, right off of Middle Belt as well. They are same zoning as mine. It was a residential when the guy bought it, and he converted it to an M1. He has an approved C of O, an approved site plan, and the business that he is running out of that is a Turo car rental business. So he operates as a rental company. He has 20 cars for rent available on his portfolio that's shown down there in the corner. So at any given time in this parking lot, he's hosting up to 20 cars. And the difference is because he's a rental company, he didn't need to go through variance to be able to get a dealership license, which is the difference with me. Same issue here, though. He is under 1 acre, which is the problem with my property not being able to become a car dealership right off the bat. But in this situation, at any given moment, he will have more cars on his property than I would, though I need the dealership license with it. So that was 300 feet north of my property. This is going over the adjacent lots. Like I said, every property in that neighborhood is grandfathered in as residential. So if anyone were to buy one of these properties like myself and convert it to an M1 property, it would never be able to go back to being a residential property because the district there is trying to make this whole neighborhood a commercial zone. And you can see that in the top right corner there in this photo, my building is marked with the yellow sign. To the right of that is DGK Trucking. They are a semi-truck storage facility as well as a steel manufacturing business. They bring in anywhere from 50 to 100 semis a day, trucking steel I-beams in, trucking them out. And my lot connects to them in the back with the fence. So as far as my property being a car dealership, there could be the argument that it would cause more traffic or more disruption. Because that facility is there, my parking lot hosting a couple more cars isn't going to cause any situation that isn't already being handled there. We have commercial semi-trucks coming into this parking lot. My lot is not big enough for there to be any semi-trucks going through it. At most, there are 8 or 9 cars parked in the front, not moving, just stationary for sale on an asphalt pad. They wouldn't be running, and it would be operated through normal daytime hours, typically 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The master plan for Romulus also shows this whole district becoming similar to what I said, just all commercial zoning. So that's the plan. My buyer here, Victor, he plans on not only purchasing my property, if I can go through this variance, but also purchasing properties both to the north and south of my property to expand his car dealership. And in the event that that happens, if he were to buy the north and south property local to mine, he would be a 1 acre site and he wouldn't need to go through the variance at all. That is what I'm going for today. These are a couple local dealerships under 1 acre within the Romulus area. A couple of these are in the city of Wayne. But this just goes to show that it's not a first-time thing that I'm asking for here with this variance. There are, within 10 minutes of research, there's been 5, there's probably 15 or 20 other dealerships in the area that are less than 1 acre, have gone through this variance and are currently operating as a car dealership, similar to what I'm going for, being less than 1 acre. And my property is not the smallest of these, so. This is the City of Wayne requirements for their car dealerships. As you can see in the bottom left corner, the L1, that's light industrial, their requirement with no stipulation is that the property size be a minimum of 10,000 square feet for it to be classified and able to be used as a car dealership. If that was the case for the City of Romulus, I wouldn't have to go through a variation for this, or a variance, because my property is roughly 16,000 square feet if you're not including the front boulevard. So that just goes to show if I were in a different location with a similar building, I wouldn't need to do something like this. But given the City of Romulus requires 1 acre minimum, that's what I'm going for. And one of the other sections that I was going for was this setback minimum. So it's a 50-foot setback. It's really not applicable as it is now. The building sits, the pre-existing building sits about 5.5 to 6 feet away from the property line with my neighbor. There's nothing I can do about that. The width of the property couldn't have a building at all if I had to go with 50-foot setbacks on the sides. So that's my case. I'm open to any questions.
All right, thank you very much. So now we'll open this portion of the meeting to the public comment. If anybody is present that would like to speak on the subject? State your name and address, please.
My name is Alia Usali. I live at 6927 Middlebelt, the neighbor. I've never had to do this before, so I'm not sure in terms of comments. I did write something down, so if you would bear with me and I can read it, and then maybe have questions or anything afterward. I would like to start by saying that I've lived in Romulus for over 20 years. My husband has been here all his life. My children are now 4th generation residents of Romulus. We are active members in the school system as well as the community. Please keep this in mind when we illustrate the reasons why we don't want to live next to a car dealership. I am a little bit nervous too. I'm sorry.
You're doing fine.
This is our house. This house is our home. It's our history. Romulus residents are purposely being pushed out so big businesses can be created. Many buildings have been constructed and remain empty. Past generations, like his grandfather and his father, have asked to establish a business and were denied. And now someone with no personal connection to the city is being granted permission to construct. The board will side in favor of opening a business with the intent to grow our city. But cities grow through communities. Communities thrive on school-aged children that will live here for generations. Since the owner has bought the parcel of land approximately 20 months ago, he has harassed and intimidated to get us from enjoying the life and property comfortably. The owner has made renovations to the property without following proper processes. This includes demolishing the back building of the property with disregard to our health. The owner has installed a parking barrier on the property line without consent. The owner has raised the grade of the property, so when it rains, it is now flooding our yard. When the owner had contractors presented, they disrespected our vegetable garden by destroying part of it and urinating in it. Approving a car dealership will be like living next door to a parking lot. The fence will be an eyesore of the natural landscape. The nuisance of constant traffic, frequency of customers, vehicles, delivery, etc., as well as noise disturbances, will impact our peaceful living. Michigan law recognizes attractive nuisances which involve the condition of the property that is dangerous to children as well as animals. The land surrounding the property includes Black Creek and wetlands and is a refuge for a variety of wildlife. Please take in consideration the small neighborhood of homes that flank this pending appeal. We deal with ongoing issues living on a major road that is adjacent to many businesses that contribute to noise and light pollution and litter. This will only add to the stress and blight we live with daily. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to voice our concerns. We know you will do what's best for the future of Romulus.
Thank you very much for your comments. You did fine.
Thank you.
Do we want to take her letter and edit it to the record?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a copy of it, we can.
I do have one question.
Okay, no.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Oh, well, after you get done discussing that.
Can you step back up to the microphone?
Mr. Lloyd, I'd like to ask you a question. Sorry about that, I should have.
No, that's okay.
Sorry, just one question for you. Are you the neighbor directly adjacent to the property?
Directly south,
Directly south, thank you.
yes.
All right. So with that, any more questions, Mr. Green? Mr.
No,
Lloyd?
not for her.
I don't have any questions for
Mr. Chandler, do you have any questions for the resident?
No, not right now, no.
All right. Thank you very much again. With that portion of the meeting concluded, I'll open it up to board members for questions.
Okay, I'll start.
Mr. Green?
In regards to the chain link fence, what's the reasoning why you're not going with the solid fence?
Yeah, I ran a landscaping company for 4 years. I was looking to do a chain link fence just for the simplicity of it. It's easily replaceable if something breaks as opposed to a vinyl or a block fence. The build process time is typically 2 days for us to do a chain link fence of that size. If we're doing a brick and mortar fence, it has to be right weather conditions, and it's typically 2.5 to 3 weeks. The chain link fence is more appealing in my eyes. I think I like the black along as opposed to vinyl, which will get moldy over time. That's kind of the reason for it as well. It's a lesser expense for us.
Okay. That's all I have.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I got a quick question.
Mr.
When
Chandler?
I was thinking about something else here. Excuse me. As far as the asphalt paving that you're going to have done,
Yes.
is that described on this layout here?
Are you looking at the site plan?
It looks like we've got concrete parking area with signs. What kind of signs are those going to be?
That's just parking signs.
Parking signs?
Yeah.
Okay. Now that, the property west of that concrete area, it's all gravel?
Yes.
All gravel?
Yeah.
And you have a concrete driveway back to the building?
Right.
I thought I saw a spot where there was asphalt.
In the PowerPoint?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was right in the front.
Yeah, right there.
I thought you showed an area with asphalt.
That's-
Another question, why aren't you asphalting up to the road area?
That's in the site plan, so we have a phased site plan, which down the road would be with the whole front of the property being paved up to the left. So to the left of that property, there is an ADA handicap parking spot. It's a concrete pad. I believe it's 14.
When is that proposed?
That has been proposed and approved by the site plan.
That's going to be a new site plan including that?
No, this site plan that he has, so what they had initially talked about was paving, and then one problem with this one is there is a shared access with the neighbor to the north.
You're right.
And the property line kind of goes right through that approach, so they would have to pave anywhere cars would be on, and then they had talked about a phased paving where they pave anywhere cars are gonna go, pave the handicap spot, and then pave, but they would have to get permission from the owner to the north to be able to, because that's actually his property. Part of the gravel you see on the overhead of that if you see the approach, is actually the property line kind of cuts right into the approach, and there's a shared access there between the neighbor to the north.
Then that additional parking to the east of the building,
Yes.
that's just all gravel back there too?
That's, for right now, that's gravel. There is an existing concrete pad from a structure that was torn down. That shows in the site plan that could be used as parking as well for any employees of the business.
I got another different question. How are you gonna prep your used cars to make them ready for sale? If they're gonna be displayed on your lot, what are you gonna do to those cars? Get them washed, maintained? Where would you do that? Any kind of repairs?
For Victor.
Could you please approach the mic, give your name, address, before you make your comment, please?
Yeah, my name is Victor Haddad, and I have my own mechanic called Wayne Car and Trucks in Wayne City, and I use car wash.
So you won't be doing
I operate
anything?
another car lot in Canton, but it's not working under somebody else's license.
On this, with this lot here, you won't be doing any of that preparation or repair or mechanic work or anything like that?
No.
It's just bring a car in there and park it?
Yes.
Put it for
park and
sale?
Sell it, that's it. Do the sale. No maintenance, nothing.
I have one final question from me. What kind of signage do you propose for this site?
Sign?
Used car lot or?
Yeah, used car lot.
What, was there any?
VCR, used car lot.
Okay. Did I miss it or something?
The cars, you're saying that you have a mechanic in Wayne that's gonna work on them and wash them and stuff like that. How are the cars, are you just driving the cars back to that lot, or you're using a trailer?
It goes straight to the mechanic, he check everything on the car, if it's good, we bring it. If anything wrong with it, he fix it, then I bring it.
Right, but to get it from the mechanic to the lot, are you getting them moved in on a trailer, or you're just driving them, like a person driving them
We
in?
can't drive it, I have to stop, we can't drive it. Yeah.
I actually have a question.
Mr. Gabois?
Regarding site lighting, with residential properties being there, what type of light, how would you light this place up? Are they LEDs? Are they on 24/7? I see it's gonna face a certain way, but that would, if I was a homeowner in that area, that would concern me as the site lighting.
I think it's already light up.
Yeah, so there are 4 floodlights on that property. There's one in the front of the building, on the side towards the concrete pad, and then 2 in the back. With the site plan and with my site plan designer, we adjusted those lights to be in code so that nothing goes over the property line,
Okay.
as well as with that fence there being with zero visibility through, all the light shines down and it would not go through onto the neighbor's property. And there's also, given that he lives on Middle Belt, there's 27,000 cars passing every day. The building across from it, not the Granger, but there's a building to the left of it, they've got 6 floodlights, 35 feet high in the building, shining right on the road. There's street lights. The floodlight in the front would not be something that would affect them any more than the floodlights that are already pre-existing on the neighboring properties.
Okay. Thank you, that's fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In regards to the floodlights, we do have trees and bushes in the front yard that do deter some of the lighting. And also, in terms of noise of traffic, the airport had put in windows a long time ago, so a lot of that we don't hear from across the street and from the road. As being directly our neighbor, it causes a different issue.
For the record, Randy has been seen riding dirt bikes, jumping dirt bikes in his backyard, as well as riding motorcycles and quads down Middle Belt Road. I don't think
We're not here to discuss that.
okay.
My name's Randy Trout. I love riding dirt bikes, and I've been riding there my whole life. And I got permission to ride that property. And for 20 months, he's been infringing on my family, discharging firearms, doing a lot of things over there. And I'm not happy. I'm not happy to be here because I made police reports on him, and they all keep going back to Jeff, and then nothing happens.
Police reports come back to me.
Yeah, I went to the police over this. You know,
Yeah,
all the
I
times
have-
that I called down there to talk to you, you come out, I've talked to you
I've talked to you many a times. Yes,
many
sir.
a times.
Yes, sir.
And you told me no permits were being pulled, he was doing all this
And
wrong.
you are correct at the beginning.
You know,
At the
it's-
beginning, I can tell the story from when I first got
Let's tell the
involved in
story.
it, which was a long time ago. From the beginning, there was work going on there with no permits. We stopped the work. There was citations issued on our end, all that. We worked through all that, got environmental stuff done, back from the homeowner, got everything set up. Then he actually pulled the plans and pulled proper permits to renovate the building, to tear the building down in the back and renovate the building in the front for an office space to lease, not necessarily for a car dealership at that time. So those permits were pulled. There has been inspections done on that, put in a handicap ramp, handicap bathroom, renovated the home for an office, and that's as far as we've got. There's no C of O on this property. Nothing's completed and finished, because obviously we need to know what the use is going to be, and then that's when this proposal came in, this use for proposal, which there's multiple variances you need to be able to have a use like this, where there's other M1 businesses that would not need a variance, right? That if there's certain offices and certain things that he could do, that they would not need to come to get a variance for, but because it's a used car dealership, there's a lot of minimums that you gotta have that the site doesn't meet, which is why they're in front of you tonight.
All right, Jeff, so just as a few examples, like say it was a tax prep location, a lawyer's office,
Yep,
all that would have been, or CPA.
Yep.
All that would have been perfectly fine uses.
yes,
Very low impact, very low density.
yep,
So the only day I came down there was the day that he was tearing the house down, when he was doing it improper,
yep.
and, you know,
Yes, sir, and what happened?
he disregarded you guys, he just tore it down and kept loading it.
Oh, well, we put stop work orders on it, and then we issued
He just kept
citations.
loading. He just-
Well, for about a day, right? And then it all stopped.
No, he's been there since he purchased that property, he's been at it full time. He stays past 10 o'clock.
So I know that after, there was a time period
You know,
where
and
he
it got to
was,
the point where I went to the police station and they said, we're gonna hand this back over to the ordinance. And that's why I'm here today, because I don't do this. I don't come down here, I don't go to the police station, right there.
and we've
He's
been,
disturbed my living.
and everything got cleaned up. I met over there with you and somebody
I
from the
met over
state.
there
I met
several times
over
with you.
there. I met over
I've
there
called
with
the
the
state
owner.
on him.
Yep, and I've met with
got
the
him-
state and talked to the
Dumping
state
chemicals,
5
gave
times on that.
footage to the police department.
Mm-hmm.
It goes nowhere. It's all shut down.
Well, as far as
Have a
footage to
nice
the police department, I have nothing to do with that. That is not my purview.
So I actually do have a question for Mr. Michalak. You could come back up. You know, one of my primary concerns is the variance to 11.078-3, which is the fence ordinance. I'm not familiar with this type of fencing, but the ordinance is put in place for a reason, right? A solid fence. And even with some of the examples that you showed from some of the other car lots on similar lot size, they also did actually have solid fencing. So I'm a bit concerned about the fence type. I'm personally not familiar with this fencing type.
Sure.
And even the digital image is trying to display it, but again, the ordinance is put in place for a
Yes.
reason. So to vary from that for a cost save, while I respect it, right? Again, the rules are the rules. So that is a concern, one of the concerns that I have. The other concern is, as you were alluding to in the beginning, when the notice to the public went out, right, there was another ordinance that actually needed to be discussed, which was the width of the property, which was not a part of the notice. So that's something that should be, that the public should be aware of to consider.
So will that be a separate variance meeting in July for that.
So so from what I understand from Carol, there was a variance that was not caught during this,
Correct.
that was not sent out to be noticed, and that's the minimum of 100-foot frontage, which kind of goes hand in hand with the 1 acre lot size,
Yep.
but there was no notice sent for that. So with no notice sent for that, the options, and I think we put them on your guys' report, are if the consideration is to approve, you're considering approving, you would have to postpone. So those proper notices
Correct.
with that would be put on. And then, but if the consideration, if you guys' consideration is to not approve, then if the 1 acre doesn't get approved, then the 100 foot's null and void from, that's what Mr. Hitchcock told me.
Well, so generally what this board's job is to do is to discover, is there a hardship that's been created? So as I stated, if you had like tax prep in there, CPA, a lawyer's office, fortune teller, whatever, that would fit into the M1. The fact that you want to have a car dealership doesn't fit the M1 because of the 1 acre lot size. Now, let's say you were .998 acres.
Right.
That's not your fault. But .32, you're a little over a third of what you need per the rules. That's a problem for me. The fence, obviously, if you're abutting that close to residential, would have to be not a chain link fence, even though you like it, that's not the rules.
Right.
As far as what they do in the city of Wayne, we don't care. That's their business. They can do whatever they want in the city of Wayne. They even had it where you can't park a pickup truck on the street. That's their business, not ours. Have you said all you're going to say?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, thank you. Do any more board members have questions?
No,
I do not.
Mr. Chandler?
No.
All right.
Through the chair, I'm sorry, through the chair, I would like to clarify one thing. I know there was some discussion about another property just down the road. I think it's 6837 Middle Belt. That property actually has a C of O only right now as a residential family use. When they purchased the property, they renovated it just for single-family home, paved the driveway, did everything. Then they started wanting to do it like a home office and started the Turo business that he was speaking of. And they actually have site plan and everything submitted to try to turn that into a commercial use. But that has not come before you guys yet. That'll probably be coming before you guys here in the next month to 2 months, once we get the site plan reviewed and everything. But I just wanted to clarify that property is actually C of O'd residential, single family. It's not C of O'd for a rental car business right now.
that's the one 300 feet north of it?
Yes,
That
sir.
would- Okay, that one had the privacy fence too.
Yep,
And it had the plastic white privacy.
they have the
fence.
solid privacy fence,
Yes.
yes.
All right, so I believe a motion is in order.
Okay, so,
He's back up here.
That property that's, that you're talking about with the white fence, it's right next to Black Creek, and it runs to Rouge River, that goes to Detroit River, out to Lake Erie. All the oil, gas from the leaks, from the vehicles, it's gonna wash right into the, Black Creek. And that's something you should think about.
so,
Thank you.
A lot of turtles, a lot of geese, a lot of ducks. It's the wetlands there, and they like it. Hopefully you guys leave it that way.
Gentleman in the back. We're still in the public section of the meeting.
Yep.
No, I just like, because it came up, which is, I don't know if
Yes.
our zoning.
You
but my
need
name
your
is Ziad Carter.
name and address.
Ziad Carter, I'm the owner of 6837 Middle Belt, which is the one with the white fence. We do rental cars, we don't fix cars, we don't do mechanics, we have our mechanics actually in Lincoln Park. All what we do, that people, they come pick up a car, they drop a car, that's all what we do on that property. The property right now, as Jeff said, it's like.
All right,
residential.
we're not here to talk about that either.
Okay.
That's not on our agenda.
I just want to make sure that you
No,
don't
no,
have, like,
no,
answers
no,
about my
no.
property.
It's not on our agenda.
Full package.
That's not what we're here to talk about.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much. Right.
okay. Sorry, are we closed with the public?
Yes, that closes the public section of the meeting.
Okay, so I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to postpone any action to allow for a revised posting that includes the variance of the lot width. And in parallel, that'll give the board here more time to take a look at the properties in the area that are in a similar situation with a similar variance. I'd like to understand where this has been allowed in the past, what it looks like, and also take a look at the impact of the fencing type, in addition, while the posting is revised for the public.
I second it. I mean, I agree. I second that.
All right.
Now, what was the motion?
So the motion is to postpone any action tonight to allow for a revised posting that includes the variance for lot width.
For the 100-foot.
Yep.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Lloyd to postpone any action tonight in lieu of more information with the 100-foot frontage and more information on the fencing type. Seconded by Mr. Gebois. We'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Gebois?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion carries. The subject has been postponed until more information can be gathered.
Wouldn't that include like a revised site plan as well? Along,
Well, I know that with the site plan, obviously, there would have to be revisions to it. They would, but without if the variance doesn't go through for the .32 acre car leasing lot, and it turns into something different, without that variance, then that specific site plan kind of is null and void. You know what I mean? If the car leasing lot, the decision is that that's not a good spot for this area, if that's what it ends up being, then it would be a site plan for something different.
Oh, okay.
And then, because we still have to review and go through and fully approve a site plan depending on the use and everything. This one we did look at with all the different paving and everything, but obviously, site's too small for what's allowed in the M1, which is why they're in front of you tonight.
thank you.
All right, with that postponed, that concludes that.
Just goes back to the
Yes.
city planning.
That'll go back to the planner's office and be resubmitted back to us. All right. With that concluded, we'll move on to number 8. That's election of officers.
Oh, really, yeah. I thought we already did that.
So through the chair, I just to explain that, now with Mr. Jones, you guys had done that, and with Mr. Jones not on the board anymore, and Mr. Gabbois now coming aboard, now that it's a new board, I don't understand all the rules and everything, but I'm being told that a new election of officers needs to take place.
I'd like to make a motion that Mr. Frederick be the chairman of the zoning board of appeals.
I'll second that.
I'll accept that nomination.
Roll call.
Yep, we'll roll call vote on that. Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Gabbois?
Yes.
Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
The chair thanks you.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's vice chair?
Yep.
I will make a motion that Mr. Chandler is the vice chair of the Board of Zoning Appeals.
I accept that.
I second that.
I accept the motion.
All righty. I have a motion by Mr. Lloyd to make Mr. Chandler our co-chair, which he does a fine job, and have a seconded by
Yes, Mr. Gabbois.
Mr. Gabbois. So we'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Gabbois?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chandler says thank you. All right, so our officers are picked.
Don't we need a secretary? We've had a secretary in the past.
I'll make a motion for Mr. Lloyd to be secretary.
I'll second that motion.
All right. So we have a motion to make Mr. Lloyd secretary, seconded by Mr. Chandler, and we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes?
Mr. Gebois?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Congratulations. All righty. That was number 8. With all that business, so that was new business B, I'm sorry. So next is number 7, communications. A, the city planner status report. Does anybody have any questions about the status report?
Nope.
I don't either.
Through the chair, I would like to just let you guys know, you've probably seen mobility over at North Point Phase 2. They did get they do have a permit for Building 5, just one of the buildings in Phase 2, and we're still working through the 2 hotels that are supposed to be coming. Also, Sheets over on Middle Belt is rolling pretty good. They're thinking about last I talked with them, they're hoping that they can turn it over and open possibly sometime in July, which would be nice, so,
They did a nice job cleaning up between the freeway ramp and
yeah.
the gas station. I didn't realize how bad it looked. I seen it the other day. It looked great.
Yeah, and now they're doing all the road work and everything right now, so,
Put a stoplight there too, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks good.
So with status report, I do have a question.
yes, sir.
So down there in Middle Belt Road at Beverly, they're doing that gas line,
Yeah.
that gas main.
Yes, sir.
What's the, how long is that gonna go?
Well, we've been dealing with it, with them back and forth for probably a year and a half. You're wondering how long the road's gonna be closed like
Yeah.
that? I'm hopeful if they don't run into any more abandoned water main or something in the ground, which is what caused the holdup before, hopefully a month. But I don't know, I don't have a guaranteed time
There
frame.
was a lot of vehicles there the other day, I noticed.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
down to 1 lane and traffic backs up. That's the entrance to my subdivision, so I've been paying attention to that for quite a long time.
So southbound Middle Belt does not have a left on Beverly there.
yep,
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So, all right, a month, let's say. And it's, again, like they did at Wayne Road and Ecorse, you don't know what's in the ground till you get there, because everything's been established and it's so old.
yep. And they started that project, they started and we're gonna close the road and everything last year, and then they found and ran into that and they halted. And took all the way till they just restarted again to
Alright.
get configured exactly what they needed to do.
All right. It's in good hands. They better get it right. Okey dokey. So any discussions?
Yep.
Number 8?
If anybody noticed that this CVS pharmacy is gonna be closing?
I did.
I went by there on the way here tonight, and it's still open, but I
July
heard it's closing this month.
July 6th.
Or is it July? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're closing, CVS is closing 200 stores.
Yeah. I've seen that on
It's not, they're not just closing it because it's
not a Romulus
quite a few
thing.
locations
Yeah.
are closing,
it's
yes.
like a bunch of Walgreens have been closing too.
Yeah.
I heard Rite Aid's the same thing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's
Well,
buying
They tore all the
online.
gas stations down and put up all the pharmacies in every corner.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're closing all those. I don't know. All right.
Is it just
Not
one
helping our
comment?
downtown
Yes, sir.
area.
So just to the public, because I don't know if we were crystal clear, so the next steps are, there's going to be a revised posting that's going to go out to all the neighbors, same as it did before, within 300 feet of the property, to account for all the variances that are required. So there'll be more information coming out to that group, and then we'll pick this back up at a later time.
All right. Item number 9 is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Lloyd, motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Support.
Mr. Gebois? All righty, I have a motion by Mr. Lloyd to adjourn, seconded by Mr. Gebois. We'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Lloyd?
Yes.
Mr. Gebois?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Meeting is adjourned.